ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. We enter into the 9th chapter. Okay. The 7th and the 9th chapter, they are connected. Each chapter is a kind of, for those who can't, please do this. That's the 8th chapter. For those who can't, what? For those who cannot establish themselves in Brahman, please try to gain it at least later. This is the option available for you. That is the 8th chapter. So Bhagavan goes back to the topic what he started in the 7th chapter. Goes back to the topic. What do you mean goes back to the topic? He had said, is it not? Jnanam and Vijnanam I shall give. What is the verse? Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami asheshataha yajñātvā neha bhūyonyat jñātavyam avashishyate. So the topic what he had started and then elaborated also. And then the one who gains that knowledge, being devoted to the Lord's Nirguna Svarupa, remember? Such a devotee, Bhagavan called him as Jnani. And then glorified that Jnani, Savishishyate. Jnani tu Atmaiva me matam. Udara sarva evaite. Jnani tu Atmaiva me matam. Jnani is my self alone. Astitaha sahi yuktatma, so on and so forth. So that topic of Jnana and Vijnana, Bhagavan again takes up the same thread. For the one who cannot go to that Nirguna, then Saguna Brahma Upasana was prescribed. And when we say Saguna Brahma Upasana, Brahman with certain gunas is Saguna. Brahman with certain guna. What kind of guna? The guna of being Sarvajna. The guna of being Sarvashakti. Brahman is Nirguna. But with the Upadhi, Maya Shabala Brahma, Brahman with the Upadhi of Maya, all these nature exhibits. Kavim Anushasitaram. Did you saw those words there? What kind of words? Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Anoraniya samanusmaredya Sarvasya dhataram achintya shaktim. You see all these words? So this is all what? If you want, you can again go through that verse and see. Where is that verse? Kavim Puranam, verse number 9. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Anushasitaram? One who is a antaryami. Antastitva yamayati. You see that nature? Ishvara Svarupa, that is. Anoraniyan sabanusmaretya sarvasya dhataram. What is sarvasya dhataram? Dhataram? Vidhataram. One who gives the karma phala for all. Achintya shaktim, achintya rupam, aditya varnam tamasa parastat. In his true nature, beyond ignorance. Of course, Bhagavan is beyond ignorance always. With Maya also, don't think Bhagavan is ignorant. So, this kind of worship of the Lord in his Saguna Svarupa. And also, considering the entirety to be the Lord. Considering the entirety. Entirety is retained. And the entirety of what? Adhyatma, Karma, Adhibhuta, Adhidhaiva, Adhiyajna. All of them are retained. You understand all these words, right? All of them are not dissolved. All of them are not dissolved. All of them are not seen as false. They are kept as they are. So there is no falsification involved. If you see knowledge, in knowledge falsification will be there. Take that 7th chapter, that verse. Echaiva satvika bhavaha rajasas tamasashaye mattaye vetitan vidhi natvaham teshu temayi. Temayi means what? They are all superimposed on me. Natu aham teshu means what? Because I am adhisthana, I am unaffected by them. So this way, there is the bhada, there is a falsification of the entire world of plurality, and there is an ascertainment of the nature of the Lord in his true nature of being Nirguna, which true nature is one with the self. And that is why Bhagavan will say, for the Jnani, I am his self. And for me, the Jnani is myself. That means what? That is, there is only oneness between the Lord and the self. So this is Jnana. And the experience of this is Vijnana. And when Bhagavan says, I will give Jnana as well as Vijnana, what he means is that I will not only give the knowledge, but I will also give you the knowledge of the self being one with it. Brahma Asti is Jnana. Brahma Asmi is Vijnana. Brahma Asti. Brahman is, God is, yes. Jnana. Brahman Asmi. Aham Brahma Asmi. That is Vijnana. So this is the main topic of the Bhagavad Gita for sure. And in 7th chapter, Bhagavan had very clearly said that I will give you Jnana along with Vijnana. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami asheshata. Now you will see in the 9th chapter, Bhagavan takes up the same. Actually, those words will be almost the same. Idam dute guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam pravakshyami. I shall explain to you jnanam and vijnanam. Which jnana and vijnanam he already started in chapter 7. So now again he takes back the thread and continues forward. Okay? So the Pradhana Upadesha of the Bhagavad Gita is this. This means what? Jnana, Vijnana. That is the Pradhana Upadesha. And for somebody who cannot gain it, as we saw in the 8th chapter, the methods are advocated. And there also in the 8th chapter we saw, see, it was said, no, that Upasaka goes through that. What do you call goes through that? Goes through that Sushumna Nadi and goes through the Kapala. What is that? Brahmarandra. Brahmarandra breaks through the Kapala and then goes through the, right? They're all there. Don't doubt all those things. It's all there. And that the one who departs to the Sushumna Nadi alone will go to Brahmaloka. So that is a decided thing. Swami, is there any other way you can go also? Yes. There are so many ways by which the jiva can escape the body. Sometimes you will find some people who are eyes like that. Okay. Sometimes you find nose swollen. Swollen. Do you know all this thing? Yeah. So that they will say that the jiva is left through. Elders, they will say, very good gati. The person has left through the eyes, very good. Through the nose and all. They will say all those things. The jiva can even leave through the lower apertures. That is also there. Usually they speak of the higher as better yonis, they will speak. And lower they will speak also as having other, the bhoga, that bhoga pradhana they say lower. Whatever it is. But for this, upasaka, the exit has to be through that Sushumna Nadi. Only then that person is eligible for also Brahmaloka. And this will happen automatically doesn't have to be done. And if it needs to be done also, there are methods, right? So Bhagavan had spoken of those things. Bhagavan has also spoken of Pranava there, where Pranava is taken as, the Pranava Upasana through the Saguna was taken, right? Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran, right? Mam Anusmaran is what? Mam is that Kavim Purana Manushasitaram. So Vyaharan saying that Om and Omkara itself is also Ahangraha Upasana. I think all those things we have seen it, so no need to repeat all those things. So now Bhagavan goes back to the main thought. So let us now start the text. Usually, whenever we start the 9th chapter, we say like this. We say like this means, because if somebody has read the 8th chapter, then the person may think this is the only way to reach the Lord. All these kind of complicated methodologies. And sometimes you all feel that, it's out of question for us, where one has to go and learn all these kind of things. So one would feel that this is something. And some may also feel that this is all very, very esoteric. Esoteric means very mystical. Not making much logic, sense, and understanding and all those things. Say esoteric. Yes, it will feel like that. All those things will definitely feel like that. Some devatas are taking you from one loka to another. Hey, what is happening, all these things? It is there. But that's not the main Vedanta. That's not the main Vedanta. That is not the main message of Vedanta. The main message of Vedanta is Iha cheta vedit ata satyamasti na chetiha vedit mahati vinashti. That is the main message. And therefore now, going back to the main message, what does Bhagavan speak here? Bhagavan goes back to that Jnanam and Vijnanam and continues the topic. So Sakshat Moksha Karanam is that the direct means of knowledge is Jnanam. The direct means of knowledge is to actualize it as Vijnanam. And for that, in the 9th chapter, we have the explanation of the Brahma Svarupa and how that Brahman, even with Maya, when it functions, it remains Asanga Udasina. You know these words? Asanga Udasina. What is Asanga? Asanga is untouched. And what is Udasina? Udasina is not doing, a sense of non-interested presence. Non-interested presence. In which presence everything happens. Meaning there is no intent. That Chaitanya Brahman has no intent to do this way or that way. Okay? So that kind of asanga udasina, that indifference, indifferent nature, that is all presented here. Okay, now with this introduction let us start. But you should also note one thing. Even when the 8th chapter Bhagavan prescribed all these upasanas, again and again in the middle he will come to. He will come to, that bhakti which is ananya. Right? Remember those words? It was all there. Bhaktya labhyastvananyaya purushah saparah partha purushah saparah partha bhaktya labhyastvananyaya. Bhagavan never loses touch with that Advaita. So many places. And even if you see, parastasmatu bhavonyah. Avyakto avyaktat sanatanaha. Yes, that is verse number 20. So, that Nirguna Advaita Tattva is ever in Bhagavan's teaching, even in the 8th chapter. Now, coming to the 9th chapter, let's start now.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Navamodhyayaha. Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Itam tute Guhyatamam. Pravakshyamyanasuyave. Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. Yajñātvā Mokshyase Shubhāt. Sri Bhagavanuvacha. Itam tute Guhyatamam. Pravakshyamyanasuyave. Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. Yajñātvā Mokshyase Shubhāt.
Idam. The word is idam. Idam means this. What is this? What Bhagavan is going to speak now, that is that this. What is he going to speak? What is he going to explain? Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. That jnana which goes along with that experience. So this is what Bhagavan is going to speak, and therefore he says idam. So that is keeping in mind what all he has planned to mention, describe and explain in the whole chapter. So Bhagavan comprehends the whole thing, what he is going to say, as idam this. So idam refers to what is there in Bhagavan's mind as a teacher when he is teaching. Idam. Idam. Also, that idam also refers to what was just earlier mentioned. I say this. So this is jnanam vijnana sahitam. Yes, this has got that futuristic look. This is what I am going to say. But that is not disconnected with what has been explained in chapter 8. Bhagavan, chapter 8 just concluded. In that chapter 8, parastasmatu bhavonyaha tasmat avyaktat. Then that avyakta, there is that paraha, which is bhavaha, pure existence, which is avyaktaha, which is beyond any kind of comprehension. Avyaktaha, it's unmanifest, which is what? Sanatanaha, the most ancient, beyond time. And which is what? Yassa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati, which is imperishable among all that is perishable. Nityo nityanam, nityo anityanam, chetanas chetananam, chetanaha achetananam. Right? So, that what is that? That is that varaha purushaha. And how is that attained? Bhaktiha labhyastvananyaya. That is attained through that devotion which is of the nature of oneness. So Bhagavan had mentioned all those things. Yasyantastani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. And everything is yasya antastani bhutani. All beings are where? All beings are established in it. And by it everything is pervaded. That which is not actually that is actually this idam. So idam, the two is what? The two is to show its nature or its method, or which is different, that vailakshanya, that difference from the earlier what we saw in the 8th chapter. In the 8th chapter we saw that Purusha to be attained. How? Through the Saguna Brahma Upasana, which involved a lot of effort. Which involved even efforts whereby one had to direct even the individual through the Sushumna Nadi. So, that klesha, that difficulty, this does not have all those things. And also, there it was not straightforward realization of the reality. There how it was, it is krama. Whereas this is how, this is Sakshat Mokshaikya Hetu. It is a direct means. So thus, the two shows what? That two shows that vailakshanya, that difference. About what are we talking? Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. That jnana along with that experience. Vijnana Sahitam. Sahitam means along. As you all know, Vijnana is what? Vijnana is aparokshanubhava. Aparokshanubhava of the nature of Brahmai Vedam Sarvam. All this is Brahman alone. Aham Brahmasmi. In this way, to know once and everything else, all of them as being that ultimate reality alone. To know this is called what? To know this directly, this is called as Vijnanam. So Bhagavan says, this knowledge I will present in such a manner that you will have the direct experience of it. Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. My presentation will be such that it will not be as though, like how in the earlier chapter when I had said, na? Dhumo Ratris Tata Krishna, or, what was the other one? Agnir Jyotiraha Shuklaha Shanmasa. Right? So all those things I had told, and then I had also told that there you go, then you will get liberation. Kramamukti. And there when you go, how will you get liberation? Toward the end of the Mahakalpa, end of that Kalpa you will get. And that too, how will you get that knowledge? By the grace of that Creator. It will all become evident to you at that time. No, this is all not Vijnana. This is all Jnana only. Now Bhagavan says, now I will present that Jnana, how Vijnana Sahitam. And this is exactly what Bhagavan had started in the 7th chapter. What was the 7th chapter, first verse? Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatagnyāstyasi Tachrunu Jnanam Teham Savijnanam Idam Bhakshyam Yasheshataha Yajñātvā neha bhūyonyat jñātavyam avashishyate. See here also same. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave pravakshyami. How? Jnanam vijnana sahitam. And there Bhagavan had said, knowing which there remains nothing more to be known there. Here what does it say? Knowing which you will gain liberation. That's all. So finally, the main topic is reconnected and then the teaching begins. Are you able to see how Bhagavan is reconnecting? And he uses the same words so that your mind also connects. It is that same topic going to be explained now. In between there was that Saguna, now it is back to Nirguna. Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. And this Bhagavan says, how is this Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam? This is Guhyatamam. Guhyatamam. Some people will say this Guhyatamam is Guhyatamam. Guhyatamam. Okay. What is this Guhyatamam? See, the word Guhya, whenever we say the word Guhya, that word Guhya means it is secret. It also means, the word Guhya, it is secret, it definitely means it is secret, is rare. That goes without saying, it is rare. But it also means most covetable. What is rare is very covetable. You know this word covetable? Covetable means what? Covetable is what you desire. What you covet, what you desire. Meaning, it is by far the most desirable. So, Guhyatamam. By far, it is the most desirable. Why? Because of its rarity. Whatever is rare is priceless usually. Whatever is readily available is not of that great value. Coal is readily available. Diamond is very rare. Then what happens? It becomes covetable. Suppose diamond becomes readily available like coal. It will lose its value. The value of something goes up and down depending upon its rarity. So Guhyatamam means what? It is of value incomparable. Of course, the other meanings are definitely there. It is rare. Yes, it is rare. And it is a secret. Yes, it is a secret. And when it is said it is secret means not many people know it. Therefore, it is secret. All those things. Sometimes the word secret is also used. It should be carefully shared. That's also secret. But then it goes into some kind of what is some kind of exclusivism. It goes. I cannot tell you this. Why? It is rare. It is secret. That's not the point. It is not rare and secret because of that. It is rare and secret in spite of being told and in spite of being explained in full. It remains a secret. That is a fact. Yes. So, idam tu jnanam vijnana sahitam guhyatamam. So when we say guhyatamam, guhyatara, guhyatama, you see? Guhyatara, guhyatama. Guhya is what? The knowledge of karma is itself guhya. You need to go through the shastra to understand guhya. Guhyatara, more than karma, upasana becomes much more rarer. Not many people know those things. So guhyatara. And then finally you go to knowledge. How is the knowledge? It is a rarest. It is a rarest. It is most secret. It is very, very less known. Jnanam vijnana sahitam guhyatamam. And then Bhagavan says, I shall te pravakshyami. Arjuna, I shall explain to you. Tre pravakshyami. To Arjuna. And then he qualifies te with what? Anasuya. What is Anasuya? One who does not have asuya. The word asuya is translated as jealousy. That is a simple translation, but actual meaning of asuya is what? Guneshu dosha darshanam asuya. Jealousy will make you feel. Jealousy will make that also happen. But this is the actual meaning of asuya. What is asuya? Guneshu dosha darshanam. You know Guneshu, right? Guneshu in the good, where there is some goodness. In that goodness, when one sees something else, false, somebody is very lovingly coming, then you see as what? This person wants something out of me. Now that is what? That is called dosha darshanam. This is just an example I said. In any guna, when you see not that guna and when you see the negativity, where it is not actually there, but there is some fault in your antakarana, because of which you superimpose that, then that becomes what? That is called as asuya. In other words, asuya is indicative of the defects in our own mind. So Anasuya means what? Oh Arjuna, you who is faultless, you who has this pure mind, that often Bhagavan speaks about Arjuna in that way. Says that you have a pure mind, you have nobility, you have goodness. So, in other words, Arjuna is patra, is the right recipient also of this rare knowledge. That is what Bhagavan wants to say. And that is important because you may share, but the other person will not have the capacity to gain and be blessed by it, then your whole effort goes waste, right? That is why in Mundaka Upanishad, Tasmai savidvan upasannaya samyak prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya yenaksharam purusham veditavyam Provachatam tatvato Brahma Vidyam. See, that Guru teaches the Brahma Vidya and teaches the Brahma Vidya to whom? Upasannaya Samyak. That Upasannaya Samyak also shows that inner quality, the one who has approached rightly, meaning with the right bhavas, Shraddha, Seva, and all those bhava. Therefore, Upasannaya Samyak, Prashanta Chittaya, Shamanvitaya. All those things are there. So that all those things Bhagavan indicates by saying Anasuya way. One who is inwardly very, very pure at heart. This purity of heart is very important because this is the basis for all Vedantic sadhana chatushtaya. If it is not there, nothing will be there. So this jnanam vijnana sahitam, which is Guhyatamam, Arjuna, I am sharing with you. Because you have that adhikara for this. And then finally Bhagavan says, Yatnyatva, knowing which, Moksha se, you will be liberated from what? Ashubhat. So Yatnyatva is what? When you convert that jnana to Vijnana. That is the meaning of Yatnyatva. Which I am going to explain to you and present it in such a way. Jnanam can be given, but Vijnanam has to be gained. The presentation can be of the nature which enables Vijnana to happen, but Vijnana can happen only if the person is available and capable for making that jnana into Vijnana. Yajñātva Ashubhat Mokshase. Shubha is auspicious, Ashubha is inauspicious. Shubha is Mangala, Ashubha is Amangala. Ashubhat. So what is the greatest Amangala, greatest inauspiciousness? That is the Ajnana caused samsara. What can be more inauspicious than that? Non-stop suffering it propels for us, is it not? So Ashubhat Mokshase. Mokshase, you will get liberated. You will get liberated? Meaning Bhagavan is not saying you will get liberated from sorrow and then remain sorrowless. That's not the point. You will get liberated from sorrow, Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti, and Paramananda Prapti. You will get liberated from Ashubha. Yes, true. And you will also be the recipient of all that is Shubha. Yajñātva, knowing which, yuktaha san, and being established in it, this result will be there for you. Now, if you look at this verse, you will find this verse interesting. Why? So many things are interesting about it. But if you look at this entire Anubandha Chatushtaya is there. You know Anubandha Chatushtaya, right? Adhikari, Vishaya, Sambandha, Prayojana. You see, everything is there. Adhikari is very clear. Where is the word Adhikari? Anasuya way. Vishaya is also very clear. Where is Vishaya? Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam is there. Where is Sambandha? Yajñātva is there. Sambandha, Swamiji, only you are able to find. If you understand what is Sambandha, you will find. Sambandha has got Bodhya Bodhaka. I have explained many times. Bodhya Bodhaka. Bodhya is Jnana Vijnanam, Vishaya. Bodhaka is what? The teaching. The teaching. The teaching becomes the Bodhaka. The teaching means the Shastra becomes the Bodhaka. What Bhagavan is telling is the Shastra. And what is Prayojana? Moksha se Ashubhat. ठीक है. Now, Bhagavan explains the Mahatmya of this Jnanam Vijnanam, what he is going to teach. Yeah? Mahatmya means glory. Let us read the verse.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham kartum avyayam Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham kartum avyayam.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Idam Uttamam Pavitram, and so on and so forth. So let's go word by word. Rajavidya. Rajavidya. Vidyanam Raja. It is the king of all knowledges. Rajavidya. What do you mean it is the king of all knowledge? All knowledge is meant to serve this finally. In an assembly, you have so many people. Ministers are there. And all the ministers finally serve the king. And among all ministers, you don't doubt who is the king there. Because the king is very evident with this gambhirya and splendor. The person is visible there. So when you see all knowledge, this knowledge stands out as the king. It stands out as the best of all knowledge. Rajavidya. Why it is best? That goes without, that doesn't need to be explained for all of us. Why it is best? Because every Vidya is what? Aparavidya. This alone is Paravidya. Every Vidya has its object only samsara. Only this Vidya has its objects beyond samsara. Every Vidya is rooted in ahankara. Only this Vidya takes you out of ahankara. Every Vidya only keeps you more and more enmeshed in samsara. Doesn't take you out of samsara. Whereas this Vidya takes you out of samsara. Every Vidya, if you know only that. And this Vidya, knowing which you know everything. Every Vidya you know, after knowing which you have to remember that. Big problem. And this is the only Vidya, knowing which you will never forget it. How many ways you can say why this is the greatest of all knowledge? This is only a fraction of what is possible as why it is great. Much more is there, is it? Rajavidya. Also, Rajavidya, the word Raja comes from the root Raj. Rajate. Prakashayati. So, when we say Rajavidya, you can also understand as Ragni, Sacha Aso, Vidyacha, Rajavidya. You have not studied Samasa and all, right? So, that is okay. So, that which is Ragni, means what? That which shines, that which is radiant. That which is radiant is this knowledge. So what do you mean radiant? When you say that which is radiant means what? That which is attractive. Radiant is always attractive. The knowledge which is very, very attractive, of course, for those who are wise, right? That is Rajavidya. To know this is to know I want this diamond. No, you should also have an understanding. Everybody cannot. You should have the understanding. You should have the money also to get it. It is costly also. So when you say Rajavidya, what it means? It is radiant, very attractive, and very desirable. All right, so many ways you can say. Then Rajaguhyam. So this word Guhya had come before itself, right? We had Guhyatamam had come. So Rajaguhyam. Rajaguhyam means what? Among all secrets, this is the greatest secret. Yes. Shravanayapi bahubir yona labhya. Shunvantopi bahavo yamna vidyuhu. Ashcharyo vakta. Kushalosya labdha. Ashcharyo jnata. Kushalanusishtaha. Somewhere it is coming. Where it has come? Katopanishad. ठीक है. आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवत् चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. Where this is from? Second chapter, Bhagavad Gita. You know the meaning of it? Yes. Ashcharya Swamiji we know. Manushyanam sahasreshu kasyid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kasyinmam veti tatvatah. Where is this from? 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita. All these things are telling what? Rajaguhyam. It is the greatest of all secrets. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, and then what? Pavitram idam, Pavitram Uttamam. Idam Pavit, this is Pavitram. This is Pavitram means what? Very purifying. It purifies. Pavitram. Among all the various purifiers, Surya, Anala, Anila. Surya is sun. Sun purifies. Then Anala, fire purifies. Anila, wind purifies. We all know the power of these natural agents as purifying. It purifies. Then you also have the Vedas, which are great purifiers. Veda mantras. Somebody chants the Vedas, you listen quietly to it. Your mind becomes very, very quiet. You feel very purified. Now, doing the way according to what Veda says, that is also great purifier, for sure. So, the Vedas are great purifier. The karma and the upasana prescribed by the Vedas are also purifiers. The tapas performed are also purifiers. Right? All of them are pavitra. Then you also have rivers, which are rivers and ponds and all of them which are pavitra. Gangadhya, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, all of them are great purifiers. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. Jala Lava Kanika, and that also Kanika. You understand? Sanskrit I'm using. Now, Kriyate Tasya Yamirana Charcha. Ganga is purifying. Like that, lot of purifiers are there. Of course, you have Prayashitta and all, which are purifiers. Who cannot forget it? Then you have Bhagavan Nama, which is purifying. So, idam, this one, Bhagavan says, not just, don't think it's Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam. It is Pavitram, and not just Pavitram. Among all this is Pavitram, this is the Uttamam, which is the best. Why is the best? All others purify the papa. And they do not have an effect more than that. Whereas this removes the papi. The person who is committing papa is gone. All others, they remove only papa. They cannot take away punya. And because punya is there, asurya namate loka andhena tamasa vrita tanste pretya vigachanti eke chatmahano janaha. And because punya is there, you go to Brahma Loka. Only Brahma Loka you make fun, Swami. No. Every loka is funnable. Every the punya, it creates problem also. Whereas this is the one word. This removes papa and punya together. And it removes papa and punya together effortlessly. What do you mean effortlessly? Such a huge stock of cotton is there. One spark of fire. Finished. Such a very, very dark, dense darkness is there. What is the example now? You know. What is the example? One little bit matchstick, one light. Then the whole thing is gone. So, this Pavitram is effortless removal of both punya and papa. Kshiyante chasya karmani. Tada vidwan punya pape vidhuya. Upanishad. Punya and papa, everything dispelled. So because it is capable of destroying all karmas, and because it removes the karmi also, the ahankara also, the individuality also, nothing can match its greatness in removing all negativities. Pavitramidam Uttamam. See how Bhagavan is praising what he is telling. Rajavidya Rajaguhya Pavitramidam Uttamam. And then he says Pratyakshavagamam. Pratyakshavagamam avagamyate anena iti avagam. Avagamam. Avagamyate anena iti avagamam. What is this? Avagamyate anena. Anena means what? Anena is by which one comes to know. Avagamyate anena. By which one comes to know. By which one comes to know? Pramana. Means of knowledge. This means of knowledge for this is what? That is Pratyakshavagamam. The means of knowledge is direct for this. The means of knowledge is not the senses. Oh, my eyes are closed now, I can't open. A lot of effort to open my eyes. No, here you don't have to open your eyes. Mind you have to use, that is the means of knowledge. Here you don't have to use the mind also. So directly, without the use of any of the senses or mind, you can have the comprehension of this. Why? A Sakshat, Aparokshat, Brahma. Pratyakshavagamam. Also, Pratyakshavagamam, that avagamam word, avagamyate anubhuyate iti avagamam. Avagamyate anubhuyate iti avagamaha. Okay? So that means what? The experience of it is what? Is very, very direct. Finally, it means the same only. Either you take it as pramana, avagamyate anena, by which you come to know. So you take it as pramana, or avagamyate anubhuyate, that which is experienced. Anubhuyate. Both ways. Both ways how it is pratyaksha. It is direct. Pratyakshavagamam. So do you understand all these words? Rajavidya? Yes. Rajaguhya. And this chapter is called as what? Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga. But what is this Rajavidya Rajaguhya? What is it? That is Jnanam Vijnanam. That is what Rajavidya Rajaguhya. That Jnana, this Brahma Vidya is what Bhagavan is talking of. And he has already given the name, already the name is there. Jnanam Vijnana. Jnana Vijnana Yoga is already there. So how can you give this also same title? So Rajavidya Rajaguhya. But it's the same only. Pratyakshavagamam. Then what? Dharmyam. Dharmyam. Dharmyam, how can you say? Dharma, we all know. Dharmyam means what? It is righteousness personified. What is righteousness personified? That righteousness which does not require effort, which is natural, is righteousness personified. This Brahmajnana is how? This Brahmajnana is all Dharma personified. This is all Dharma encompassed into one. It is the very source of all Dharma. That Jnani, one who is established in it, that Jnani's action becomes what? That Jnani's nature, that Jnani's thinking, that Jnani's everything, that becomes the very lakshana of what is Dharma. All Dharma is derived from this Jnana only. What is Dharma? That which the Jnani is practicing, not even practicing, that which the Jnani is living, that becomes Dharma. Dharmyam, it is a very embodiment of Dharma, meaning it is not Dharma Virodhi. So Dharma I always found is very difficult, no? Dharma, they say, how difficult to practice Dharma. So you are telling it is Dharmyam, Babre. Then I think it is not for me because I am a very different type. No. Susukam kartum. It is very easy to accomplish. I think marketing, Bhagavan should be head of marketing department. Susukam kartum. Very easy. Not at all difficult. Very easy. It doesn't have any effort at the level of the body, senses or mind. Effortless. Atma Prakasha, what effort is there? At least they say the sun, because it is, we say sun is shiny. They say after many billions and trillions of years, sun will not be shining anymore. Why? All its energy is exhausted. Atman is also shining from time immemorial. It will become exhausted. No. Susukam kartum. It is very, very easy. There is no exhaustion. There is no kind of any difficulty anywhere. Advertisement, okay. Well, to know the self, there is no effort required actually. But to prepare oneself to know the self, maybe effort is required. But Jnanam Vijnanam does not have any effort. Susukam kartum. So if it is so easy to gain, then the result will be, what is easy to gain will be easy to get lost also. I said, not. What is easy is what you gain out of no effort is of not much value. It's usually worthless. But this is how avyayam. Avyayam means what? There is no decay. It is permanent gain. Its phala, its result is imperishable. In every way, the greatest of knowledge, it is the greatest of all rare. Its purity is matchless. Then it is directly experienced, directly you can gain it, and it is the embodiment of Dharma. It is most easy to accomplish, and finally its result is imperishable. Who will not want it? Arjuna. So, kingly secret, na? Rajavidya, kingly knowledge, kingly secret. That's how I think Gurudev translates. How was Gurudev translated? Huh? Correct. Royal knowledge, royal secret. Correct. And it is also to say Rajavidya means what? It has a connection with Arjuna. Right? Because Arjuna is a Raja. It is a king should have this knowledge. Rajavidya. And every king should know the secret. Rajaguhya. Alright, both ways. So Rajavidya you can see king of knowledge or king's knowledge. That's all. Rajnya Vidya. Rajnya Guhyam. Shashti. Rajan Shabda that is. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. In spite of it being like this, Bhagavan says, I have done super marketing for it. Yet, marketing I did not do till now. Now I have started. Others have done and they have not got good. Why? Not many people are, and then they are lost in samsara. Next verse. Ashraddha dana.
Ashraddha dana purushaha.
Ashraddha dana purushaha.
Dharmasyasya parantapa. Aprapya mam nivartante. Mrityu samsaravatmani. Ashraddhadhanav purushaha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsaravatmani.
Asya dharmasya ashraddhadhanaha purushaha. Asya dharmasya ashraddhadhanaha purushaha. Asya, what I have just now said. Dharmasya. Dharmasya dhriyate anena iti dharmaha. That by which everything is held, is nourished. That by which everything is upheld, that is dharma. This Brahma Jnana, which is truly that by which the entire Shastra is upheld, the entire Purushartha is upheld, everyone's life can be upheld, and because of which Moksha is possible. So this jnana by which everything is upheld, and this jnana which is the dharma of all mumukshus who seek liberation, and this jnana which is the very storehouse of dharma and which nourishes dharma, and which, because of which dharma gets its very life. So, asya dharmasya ashraddha dana. The word shraddha, which we translate usually as faith, it also is kriti hetu. Shraddha is kriti hetu. Kriti hetu, shraddha is what provides commitment to anything. Commitment is there from shraddha. If shraddha is not there, commitment will not be there. So, ashraddhadhanaha, those who don't see its value, either in the path or in the goal, either in the nature of that, or they don't see the glory of it, or they say that this is not probably for me, I may not be suitable for it, and ignore it, or because of the worldly preoccupations, their mind does not go to it, and therefore they are not investing their energy and effort in that. Ashraddhadhanaha purushaha. Naturally, that is because of what? Their own karma only, their own impurities of their mind. And therefore, Shraddha, Bhakti, Rahitaha, these people, what happens to them? Mam aprapya. Mam aprapya, me, Atmanam, Paramatmanam, Sachidananda Ekarasam, Kutastam, Nityabodham. These words you all know, right? Me, who is of that nature, aprapya mam, without coming to me, without reaching me, without becoming one with me, what happens? Mrityu samsara vartmani nivartante. Mrityu samsara vartmani. Vartman is path. Samsara vartman, the path of samsara. And how is this path of samsara? Mrityu samsara vartmani. Mrityu samsara vartmani, this path of samsara, which is non-stop death prone. Non-stop death prone, birth death prone. In other words, non-stop being born in a certain embodiment, and non-stop living that embodiment also. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare. So, that mrityu samsara vartman, what happens to them? Nivartante. Nivartante means what? Nivartante does not mean cease. Nivartante means what? Nitaram vartante. Nitaram vartante, they are ever in that alone. Ever in that birth and death cycle alone. And therefore, all seekers who want to escape this mrityu samsara vartma should definitely decide to reach the Lord. And to reach the Lord, what is required? That Shraddha is required. What do you mean Shraddha? Shraddha is faith. Shraddha is also commitment. That faith and commitment is required. Remember, Shraddha to be of value, it has to be kriti hetu. Kriti hetu, cause for kriti. Kriti is action. Kriti hetu. I have faith, yes, and therefore I am involved. That commitment. Shraddha evinces that commitment. ashraddadhana purushaha dharmastyasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. So in two verses, first verse Bhagavan said what he is going to teach. Second verse, he glorified what he is going to teach. And third verse says, if you don't get it, you had it. So both this way and that way. One is glorifying, another is indirectly threatening. So what is Bhagavan doing actually in these three verses? He is catching the attention of Arjuna. Shrotru buddhi prarochanartham. In order to make that mind of that listener inspired for the knowledge. And then he begins straight to the knowledge. Straight to Jnanam, Vijnana Sahitam. Straight. Fourth verse straight. We'll take it up tomorrow.